Hey, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're watching this video. This is Doug with News and Views by Doug. So, thank you for coming to the channel and taking the time out of your day to watch these videos. I hope you're enjoying them, and if you do, please subscribe, support the channel, leave a comment. Um, you know, yesterday I was doing a lot of video on the illegal immigration in the country. And one guy left a comment, Bill Ham, Hamm. Now, Bill, he called me a liar about what the videos were saying. And he called me a perv lover because he thinks that I back President Trump 100%. And I had to look and see where this was all coming from because he was talking about green cards, that we're deporting people with green cards. And I never said a word about that. The other videos were talking about people who had green cards and had committed crimes and they were being deported. But I never personally mentioned green cards, but he called me a liar. So I went to go look at his profile. And we're talking about a man who is apparently older than me, white. But I knew immediately where he was coming from when I saw pictures of him with his hair dyed blue and his hair dyed reddish pink. This is an old white dude with, I call it the leftist hair. I'm surprised he didn't have a septum ring in his nose. And this guy's got a family. He's got grandkids, and he has pictures of him with the different neon colored hair. And Bill, I suggest the next time you either get neon yellow or neon green to match the other colors, cover the rainbow. Today, I'm going to be talking a little bit about, well, I got a lot of things, but I look at restaurant reviews and food reviews and people doing videos all the time. And I came across a series of videos that Inside Edition, the TV show, did a couple of years ago, where they're investigating restaurants that claim to be serving, it was almost all seafood, but they were claiming to go to these restaurants and test what they're buying. And they were doing restaurants that did Gulf shrimp, sushi, expensive fish, Maryland blue crab cakes, scallops, and even the Kobe beef. And they were finding that a lot of these restaurants they were going to just completely lied about what they're selling to the customer. The Gulf shrimp that a lot of restaurants were claiming, even in New Orleans, which is right next to the Gulf, these restaurants were claiming to have Gulf shrimp when they were finding out that the shrimp was coming from the Pacific and from Vietnam and Thailand, and they're being advertised as Gulf shrimp, and apparently Gulf shrimp's some of the best shrimp in the world. The sushi, some of the fish that were on the sushi rolls, they were selling them as expensive fish, and it wasn't. The grilled fish was definitely not what they were being sold as expensive fish. They were fairly cheap cuts of other fish. The Maryland blue crabs were not from Maryland and not the blue crab species. They were crabs from the rest of the world, mostly Asia. Scallops weren't even scallops. The scallop comes from a clamshell. But these people were getting, it's a slurry. It's just like your imitation crab legs. They take fish parts and they basically mince them up, grind them up, and then glue them together in the shape that they want. And I never realized this, but your scallops are going to be different sizes. They're all irregular. They're never the exact same size. But yet these people were getting served in the restaurants where the scallops were all the exact same size. And when it came to the Kobe beef, the most expensive beef in the world, they I guess there's only 8 different restaurants in the United States that gets Kobe beef from Japan. And there were all these restaurants claiming to have Kobe beef. And when this investigative reporter went to the different restaurants owners saying, hey, you're not telling the truth, you're lying to people, most of the people they spoke to would simply walk away and go back into their restaurants. Only one restaurant owner on the series said, you know what, you're right, I'm sorry. We're going to have to redo our menu because, yeah, we're not telling the truth. And, even Red Lobster, they did the brisk, lobster brisk. And when they took it to the lab, they found that there was small pieces of lobster, real lobster in the bisque, but most of it was Lagostino, which looks like a small lobster, but it's actually more closely related to a hermit crab. It kind of looks like a really large prawn. So the reason I bring this up is that I just got done watching these videos yesterday, and I went to my favorite breakfast spot this morning, and I ordered my, bacon and eggs. And they've got decent food. They're a weird restaurant. They're owned by a Korean man and his wife. All the employees are Hispanic. They claim to do Chinese and breakfast, and that's all they do. But they don't do Chinese on Sundays because apparently the one cook they have that can do Chinese, he's off on Sundays. It's really hard to figure out how to do fried rice and, deep fried shrimp and all the other, and egg rolls, I guess, not lumpia. But this morning I'm sitting there and I was waiting for my breakfast and I noticed the cook in the back. She had a saucepan and she was pouring the sauce. It was a red sauce into an empty sriracha pepper bottle. And I'm watching her and she's filling up the sriracha bottle. So I kind of asked, I was like, why is she pouring sauce into the sriracha bottle? And they very honestly told me that they make their own sriracha sauce. And I said, but your sriracha sauce tastes nothing like sriracha. I've had it before. So I normally have to go with their tapatio. But they openly admitted that they make their own version of sriracha sauce and pour it into the sriracha bottle, which is misleading customers that, when they get the hot sauce, that it's sriracha. So they're screwing over the company that owns sriracha. And I'm thinking, how convenient that I'm watching these videos yesterday and I suddenly see something very similar to what I was watching on the videos. It just kind of blew me away. So, hey, I saw a video this morning, and you'll see it here, where 2 young men are talking about an attempted assassination in the state of Kansas against an Iranian activist who is pro-Shah. And in their video, they claimed that Iranian agents went into the man's house and they attacked him thinking they had killed him. But they didn't. He's in a hospital, supposedly in the Providence Hospital. And the video showed a reporter outside the hospital, but you couldn't hear what the reporter was saying because these guys just kept talking. Well, I did some, due diligence, and I did some further research, and there's not a mention of it anywhere on the news or in the state of Kansas. So did it happen? You can't trust everything you're seeing on the internet. We already know that a large majority of these videos are really bad AI. But here's these 2 guys, and they're talking about this, and they're saying it happened yesterday. So I just don't know if it did.
they don't have such a big problem with it that in America, in America itself, agents agents of the Islamic Republic yesterday broke into the house of an Iranian opposition leader who is very pro Shah. This is one of us, wants a free secular Iran, broke into his home. By the way, they disabled his cameras before they broke in. That raises some questions. And tried to assassinate him. They beat him within an inch of his life. They thought they killed him, except he survived. And I think they'll. Here's where they are talking about, and that's the hospital in the back, Providence Hospital. I'm not going to show you the image of him on his bed here, but that did happen. So that raises some questions.
But we do know that the Iranian officials, the IRGC, are being assassinated in Iran. We'll show you a couple of videos that have taken place in the last week and a half. The Iranian people are looking like they're beginning to stand up, and they're going after the IRGC and their backers.
Start by putting this up on the screen. What you are seeing here is video of a Kurdish opposition group killing an alleged IRGC member in the Iranian city of Sanadaj. The killer is using a suppressed pistol. So we're going to go full screen here. So you're going to see him come up right there. This is the anti-regime guy targeting the IRGC member. Multiple shots. Now they are going to blur the vehicle so you can't see. We got to be careful with YouTube. And then right there, you can see multiple shots. And he swings over right there, taking out the target. So he moves, he engages front of the vehicle, slides over to the passenger side door, and then finishes the work that needs to be done. This is what people have been waiting for. People have been saying, when are the people of Iran going to rise up? We saw some targeted assassinations in the early days of the war. I believe there was some during the ceasefire that was called in April. And now today, August 12th, multiple targeted killings have happened. This right here is the other one. It says an Iranian IRGC Basij member named Saeed Kazemi was reportedly killed in Tehran yesterday in what is described as a coordinated attack involving a deliberate car crash followed by knife assaults. So what happened is they used their vehicles to pin his car in somewhere. Then the assault force, the anti-regime force, exiting the vehicle and then taking out the IRGC member target. Again, everyone wanted to know, when would the good people of Iran rise up? When would they fight back? And while we've only seen it in small numbers, multiple targeted assassinations happening in a 24-hour window is a fairly good sign that a lot of things are about to kick off. Now, the same we know, over the past week or so, there have been multiple targeted killings of IRGC and other regime officials inside of Iran. This video that you see here on your screen allegedly shows the killing of an IRGC Aerospace Force leader. Those are the people, that is the segment of the IRGC responsible for their ballistic missiles, their drones, things of that nature. It is one of the most dangerous segments of the IRGC. So what we're going to see here in this video footage, and I want to make clear, I have not independently verified this video footage, but many credible accounts are sharing this as authentic security camera footage of the killing. So right here, you see a guy get out, AK-47 or some kind of weapon like that, comes up and starts engaging an individual. You see a second guy get out here, AK-47, and now they retreat back to their vehicle. This truck right here does match what the IRGC vehicles look like. So you can see them come up. They engage an individual next to the IRGC truck, 2 gunmen, 2 lone assassins, and then they retreat back into their vehicle. So right here, we're going to go slow motion. First gunman is out. He is coming up. He is engaging, and right there is where I will pause it. So let me know in the comments right now, who do you think did this? Do you think this is Mossad? Do you think this is CIA? Do you think this is the Kurds, resistance fighters inside of Iran. Get active in the comments below and let me know who you think is responsible for this moment. We'll pause the video right there. But more than anything, this goes to show that the Iranian regime is far from safe. This is about what, the 7th, 8th assassination over maybe the last 10 days to 2 weeks. We are continuing to see the IRGC be hunted down in their own country. There is nowhere they can hide. There is nowhere they can run. Welcome to reality. You terrorized the public. You murdered 50,000 of your own people in December and January. Then the war started, and now revenge is coming from the people of Iran.
So, the Persian Gulf, it's not going to end for a while. Now, another video that I'm going to show you is about loyalty. I saw a video the other day where Nick Sherry, you know who he is, at least I hope you do. And he was speaking to some young men. I believe they were Iraqi or maybe Iranian or who knows. But they were green card holders or naturalized citizens. And he's talking to them and they're being respectful to Nick. And then he asked them a question. If the United States went to war with your former country, where would your allegiance be? Would you fight for the United States? And they all said no. Their allegiance is to the country that they left. And then I'm going to show you this video where a man is interviewing a bunch of women in some kind of show. And he comes across one, and she's one of the stupidest girls I've ever seen. I mean, I've seen a lot of people that are just flat out stupid. But this one, she's up there with the top. And who knows?
One big immigration problem gets exposed in this debate.
So you did spend a good bulk of your life in Egypt. You've become a naturalized American citizen. In a morally neutral, blame-free hypothetical conflict between the United States and your birth country, Egypt, where neither side is right or wrong, to which country is your allegiance, the United States or Egypt?
Sudan.
That was not an option, but I'm happy to explore that alternative answer a little bit. So have you spent any time in Sudan?
Not at all.
You've not lived in Sudan?
No.
Your parents are Sudanese, though?
I know.
Well, yes. You were born in Egypt. You spent, I think, 15 years there. Mm-hmm. You've been living in the United States for 11 years, 10 years. You became a naturalized American citizen. Mm-hmm. You've spent the past 10 years of your life in the United States. Mm-hmm. You've spent no time in Sudan. Let me ask you why then, why is your allegiance to Sudan over the United States?
Because that's where I'm originally from.
Well, you were not even from there.
I know, but my parents are from there. So
are your parents American citizens too?
Yes.
They came here with you?
Yes.
In order to gain your citizenship, did you have to take an oath?
Yes.
So you know what I'm talking about. You did have to have a ceremony where I think you put your hand on the Constitution, or maybe was it a Constitution or a Bible?
Yes, a Bible.
So I asked where your allegiance was. You revoked any allegiance you had by oath.
I had to say that to get my citizenship.
And therein lies the problem. We have a legal immigrant here, a legal immigrant, who does not have any allegiance to the United States. She has allegiance to a country she has never stepped foot in once. She has never lived there. She only has some sort of ancestral blood affinity for a country that her parents had to flee from and had to get refuge from first Egypt, another nation, and then eventually coming to the United States. This is what the United States receives as its thanks for its charity. It receives oath breakers. It receives unthankful, entitled you.
Yeah, I
Would
don't
you like
have
to respond?
anything. No, I don't have anything to say. I said what I had to say.
Okay, so you're an oath breaker.
Okay.
I'll just simply say this. You're a traitor, you're treasonous. I frankly think that your citizenship should be revoked, and in quick time, you should probably be deported.
You just got served, bitch.
And then, I keep telling you about the Muslim problem in the United States. You're going to see a video where 2 Muslim police officers in New York City go into a convenience store. Well, one of them apparently disappeared into the back. A customer is going to try to use the restroom that's in the store. And what does he encounter? That police officer, the Muslim, he's on his knees on his prayer rug doing his prayer, blocking the entrance to the bathroom. And the customer he doesn't appreciate it. So you'll see that video.
Fake laugh, isn't it? It's just such a fake smile.
Yo, bro, I don't even know what's going on, but nigga, I'm trying to go to the bathroom and look, nigga got 12 in here praying.
Get out of here, man.
What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? 12 is in there praying right now, bro. What are you doing? Go pray in the car with a preacher. This ain't no fucking mosque, nigga. What's up with y'all niggas, bro? Look, in my hand too, nigga. This ain't no fucking mosque, nigga. Yeah. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do.
Well done. Well done. Look, he might be on a break, but I don't know. So, guys.
Now, here's one of the weirdest things. The United States is putting a lot of economic pressure on Cuba, and also a naval blockade around Cuba, stopping them from getting oil. And the Cubans are suffering, but they've been suffering for years. They're under the communist regime of, first Fidel and then Raul Castro, and now it's just the Communist Party that's in charge. But these people have been suffering since the 50s. And we're making it worse because we're trying to force a regime change, get rid of the communists, free the Cuban people. Well, Mexico is a really good ally of Cuba. And now people in Cuba are protesting, and they want their country to join the country of Mexico as a part of Mexico. They want to become a Mexican state.
El sistema político del continente americano se encuentra al borde del mayor cambio que ha experimentado desde la época de la Guerra Fría. El pueblo cubano, que lleva décadas luchando contra los embargos y el colapso económico, busca ahora la solución en una integración histórica que elimine por completo las fronteras. Esa enorme reivindicación que se extiende como una ola desde las calles de La Habana, la capital, y que ahora...
Los grupos que impulsaron la campaña y afirman haber reunido más de 1 millón de firmas en poco tiempo, tienen una exigencia muy clara, que se instalen de inmediato urnas para un referéndum en ambos países. Sus partidarios consideran que esta unión no sería solo un cambio de identidad política, sino también un auténtico plan de rescate económico. Este sí desencadenará una crisis de vivienda, empleo y seguridad. Un ciudadano mexicano de a pie, que lleva años luchando contra su propia pobreza, siente el temor de tener que competir al despertarse una mañana en el mismo mercado laboral con millones de cubanos nuevos y desamparados.
Cuba really does want to join Mexico, and Mexico accepts them. All power to them. Do you want to accept another shithole into your country, Mexico? I know I don't want them joining the United States. Either you become free and become your own country and improve your own country. And I know the United States will invest a lot of money to help you become a better country. But we don't need to make you a state. We have enough problems. So anyways, I'm going to end with another Carl DeMaio video exposing more fraud from the Democrats of California. And in this case, this guy in Riverside County, he's basically taken $6 million of taxes and donated it to his nonprofit. And you'll get the gist when you watch the video. There's just so much fraud in California. From the governor's office, his wife, the attorney general and his wife, all the way down. There's so much fraud in California.
Another California Democrat politician caught with his hand in the cookie jar, this time taking $6 million of your taxpayer money for a phony nonprofit he set up. Coming up, I'll tell you all about the scandal, why the liberal media refuses to cover it, and how this politician just might lose his seat in November because of this scandal. Something fishy is going on here. So let me tell you what's going to happen. I'm Carl DeMaio, chairman of Reform California and a California state representative. We've been shining a light on how California Democrat politicians have been misappropriating your taxpayer funds. And in most cases, it's just general waste, fraud, and abuse. But in some cases, it goes farther than that. They're actually taking your taxpayer money to fund their politics or worse, to potentially derive personal benefit. We're going to talk about this latest scandal involving State Assembly member Corey Jackson, who represents a district, a target district. It's a swing seat in Riverside County, Assembly District 60. The scandal that blew open this week is that Corey Jackson started a nonprofit to combat racism. Okay, yeah, so clearly a far left-wing group. Then he hotwired $6 million to this nonprofit. But this nonprofit has virtually no programming for public benefit. So the question is being asked, where's the $6 million going? More on that in just a moment, because we have a pattern of behavior here, and we pretty much know where the money's going. Before we get into that, I need to call your attention to the fight that is ongoing. If you want to take out corrupt politicians like Assemblymember Corey Jackson and target other bad politicians like Rob Bonta and Gavin Newsom and Xavier Becerra, well, there's an election coming up November 3rd. We need everyone off the couch into the fight because we can actually hold these politicians accountable. But even worse, she's deriving multi-million dollars worth of compensation from the nonprofit that Newsom is raising money into. How is that not quid pro quo? How is that not basically shaking down groups that have business before your office and benefiting personally when your wife's salary is dependent upon the solicitations you are making? And we're not talking about a small amount of money, we're talking about millions. It's legal. It's legal because the politicians allow this sort of bad behavior. It's why they allow insider trading. It's still legal. They don't want to ban it. I think we should ban all of this nonsense. Which leads me to Corey Jackson, Dr. Corey. He calls himself a doctor. Oh, come on. From some sort of Fruit Loop, toy that he gets out of a cereal box is where he got his doctorate degree. But Dr. Corey Jackson started a group called Center Against Racism and Trauma, CART. So this group, though, seems to be a phony group because the IRS return shows it has 0 employees, 0 volunteers, and only had $57,667 in annual expenses. So it's doing almost no activity. This is according to Natalie Winters, an investigative reporter. By the way, Natalie, great job. But this year, Corey Jackson, sitting in the legislature, got $6 million for his nonprofit. $6 million, that's a massive spike. Now, the first thing you should know, none of your money should be going to phony baloney nonprofits. Secondly, we shouldn't be spending $6 million on increasing awareness as to why racism is bad. Seriously, should you have a nonprofit to increase awareness on why you should be breathing oxygen? Again, these are phony baloney, woke groups at a time when we have a budget deficit, at a time when we are raising taxes on working families and making it harder for them to live. We are wasting $6 million. This is appalling that this was appropriated. Now, the reason why he got it is that the Speaker of the Assembly, Robert Rivas, needs Corey Jackson's vote to hang on to power. as Speaker, because Democrats right now are fighting. And Corey Jackson's a progressive. He's part of Rivas's coalition, but Corey is, let's say, high maintenance. Yeah. The Democrat caucus, I've talked to some of the Democrat members, they think he's bat blank crazy. And he's petty and petulant. They don't like him. No one respects him. But he throws a temper tantrum, a hissy fit, whenever he doesn't get his way. So I assume the reason why he got the $6 million is because Speaker Rivas wanted to make sure he always had Corey's vote. So the money goes to a nonprofit that basically is synonymous with Corey Jackson. It's his nonprofit. He'll say, I'm no longer involved. I'm no longer on their board. I'm no longer in charge of decisions. Here's a photo of him in March of 2026. Grant helps Inland Empire nonprofit in its mission to thwart racism. Oh, look at the media. Fluff, fluff, puff, puff. They didn't bother to kick the tires. Well, how do you guys combat racism? The only thing they do, they held a seminar. One seminar. But they get this glowing story from Greg Archer, carrying the water for these liberal Democrat politicians to keep the grift alive, to give some aura of legitimacy. Oh, we're a real nonprofit. There was a news article that was done on us. And look, a couple people got together and they posed for a photo. How much did you pay them, Corey? Are these paid props? I mean, you know what they did is they got together for the workshop, apparently. Quickly take a photo, prove that we did a workshop. Let me see how many people there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 17 people. Take $6 million and divide it by 17 people. That's a $352,941 per person prop. But the class only cost a smidge of money. I mean, if you take all the expenses the nonprofit said it had, and you say, oh, it's $56,000 in expenses, and you have 17 people, that's $3,294 per person for a couple hour seminar. On what? Racism is bad. Don't be a racist. How to spot a racist. They're a Republican. What to do about racism. Make sure you tell everyone that the Republican is the racist and to vote no. Wait, you're a nonprofit. You can't say vote no. Okay, just tell them that the Republican is a racist and hopefully they get the point. I mean, this is the nonsense. This is the phoniness of this stuff. This is a political enterprise. But even with $50,000 in change spent, where'd the other $6 million go?
So anyways, I hope you guys have a great weekend. Today is August 22nd, Saturday. And as I'm always telling you, and it's becoming very self-evident that there are sleeper cells, terrorist cells in the United States waiting to attack. I'm always telling you, be aware of your surroundings. Take care of yourselves, your family, your friends. If you see something, say something. Try to enjoy the weekend. God bless you and God bless the United States of America. Thank you so much for your time. Please subscribe.